Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This was not the video that I expected to put out today. I have a video already queued up, it's ready to go. It's the third installment of the trip that Greg and I did out to the goldfields a number of months back. It's taken me a while to get to this, but it is ready to go. But today's video is about going aurora hunting. There was a coronal mass ejection, the CME, that was reported in the, I would say, late last night. We've been seeing a lot of pretty fantastic images coming out of the northern hemisphere, some really nice aurora images. So now that we're going into our nighttime, hopefully that it will still be hanging around and we'll be able to capture some nice aurora images. So I'm taking the opportunity to head south a little bit. It's not far. It's probably about 45 minutes to an hour south of where I live. It's a dam, and I'll go through that when we get there. But I'm meeting up with a couple of other people when hopefully a little bit later on tonight. So yeah, fingers crossed. Could be a good night. I've arrived at Wollongong Dam. I thought this would actually be a pretty isolated kind of area. It's pretty close to the city, so probably my mistake there. But there is already another 4 cars here, and I don't recognize any of them. So I'm guessing that the people that I'm meeting later on are still on their way. The gates are closed, so I'm going to have to walk in. I think it's probably about a kilometer walk down to the dam, which is no big deal. But yeah, I got to carry all my camera gear, so I'm going to get started now and head down there. The sun has just gone down maybe about 15-20 minutes ago, so there's still a little bit of light around, not a lot. Hopefully that sticks around until I can get down to the dam. I don't know how long I'm going to be here for. There was already 4 cars there, plus mine. And just as I started walking down to the dam, somebody else rocked up. So it's going to get pretty busy down here, I think. So I don't know if I'm going to be hanging around here too long. I'm going to get down, I'm going to set up a camera. First thing I'm going to do is set up a time lapse. More on that a bit later. I've got some new fandangled toy to play with for the time lapse, so I'll talk about that when I get that set up. But if there's no aurora for a while, if I can't see anything, then I may pack up and head down to a different location. But yeah, also depends on how people are set up, and there might be groups of people grouped together, which would be fine. If everybody's kind of spread out and you're kind of fighting for a spot, then that's not going to be much fun. So I'll see how things pan out. Okay, so as soon as I came down here, I started to talk to a couple of people. They were saying, yeah, they've got their camera set up, but there wasn't much happening. A few people were watching all the different indicators on their phones, talking about the VZ and the density and all that kind of stuff. So I had a good chat with them, wandered off, set up my camera, and then somebody yelled out, "It's happening." And of course, I'm still halfway through setting my camera up. So it was being a bit of a mad dash to set that up. I don't want to show you all the settings of what I've got set up right now because I don't want to be shining a torch in front of everybody. So yeah, just trying to be polite, use a bit of common sense. But I've got my 20mm lens on at the moment. I think I've got it at 1.4 or 1.8, and it's on a 10-second exposure, and that's given me some really nice shots. There's appears to be a bit of green in the bottom near the horizon, and the aurora itself is a nice kind of purpley color. So it's normally I've seen like a bit of pink, things like that, but the purple is quite nice. And I think I can actually make it out with the naked eye. I wouldn't say it's definitely the aurora, but there definitely seems to be something going on in the sky. So maybe the intensities come up a little bit. So this is the time-lapse camera that I normally have, and I was mentioning on the way down that I've got a new Fandangle toy that I wanted to play with. I picked up a Platypod Pro to allow me to do some low angle, well, some close to the ground kind of shots. I'm actually lying down on the ground at the moment. That's how low this thing is at the moment. And I would say it's the camera itself is probably about 4 inches off the ground. Pretty stable. I've set the points. You can adjust the points where the camera with the Platypod is sitting on, and that's been quite stable. I've got the 24 to 105 lens on here with my EOS R, so it's quite heavy, and it's been pretty stable. So hopefully this will allow me to take some probably more unique kind of perspectives later on. This today is basically just a trial, just to see how this goes, and I've been pretty impressed with that so far. I've managed to set up both of the cameras now. I had trouble setting up the second camera, which is what I normally use for the time-lapse. Not sure what the problem is. I ended up changing the lens, turning the camera off and on a couple of times, and eventually it started working. So I don't know what the problem was, but I'm going to have to play with that a bit later. I've had both cameras doing a time-lapse for a while. I'm going to leave one here, and then I'm going to move one of my other cameras a little bit further up across the dam wall and see if I can get a different perspective. So this is the setup that I have. I am still on the dam wall. There is a building that's going off into the water. I think it's more of like a control tower kind of thing, but I've managed to pick that up over to the right hand side. The Aurora is kind of being placed to the left of that, which is end up being in the middle of the frame. I've got 15 seconds at f1.6 and ISO 200. I had a bit of a play around with that. I don't want to go straight to f4. The reason being is that I just wanted to take it off the max aperture just to see if it brings out a bit more detail, rather than looking a little bit soft. And 15 seconds seems to work pretty well. And just to push that up to ISO 200, I did have that on 100 a little while back, so it hasn't really needed much ISO at all. So the Aurora has gone off and it's kind of peaked out a little bit now, so it's a bit quiet. So I've been chatting to a few photographers. Greg, you probably already know.
Hey guys.
Nick.
Hey guys.
Yep. And Amethyst.
Hey.
Yep. So we're all having a pretty good night out here tonight. It's been really nice. The beams you could actually see with the naked eye for a bit of time, so that's been pretty amazing. So yeah.
We're hoping the numbers might kick off again soon. Sitting here in hope. The eternal optimism of the astrophotographer.
Always. You have to be, don't you?
Yes.
But it's a nice summer night, so it's quite enjoyable.
It's quite pleasant.
Nice.
Now. You can't beat doing astrophotography in short sleeves.
Absolutely.
All the Northern Hemisphere guys will be jealous, even if we didn't get their amazing Aurora.
Yes. Cool. All right. Cheers, guys.
See ya.
So we've been hanging around here for like the last hour and a half, and then all of a sudden you can tell by the excitement that the Aurora's come back. And there's talk of beams. There's talk of people. You can probably hear that. So this is one of the things that I find really exciting about chasing Aurora, especially with other people around. Just the excitement when it actually comes back. It's really a good atmosphere. So yeah, I've still got both cameras going. I have moved one of my cameras to get a different view, but I've got the time lapse still going from before. So hopefully with this new Aurora coming in, I'll be able to get a series of time-lapse images from a different vantage point. So all the settings are still exactly the same as what I've had before. Well, hopefully it'll last for a while, and I'll be able to get a decent time-lapse out of it. So here's what I've captured. I'll put up a single image, and then I'll follow that on with the time-lapse. Made it back to the car after a epic climb up that hill. Did not seem to be that bad going down, but coming back up, that was definitely an effort, especially when I've been standing around for the last 3-4 hours. But made it back up. Such a good night. Met so many amazing people. Everyone there was just great. They were just out there to enjoy the Mother Nature putting on a show. So it's been a pretty epic night. Got to see 2 sets of auroras, so which I haven't really seen before, certainly not when they've both been that strong. So I'm going to put up the time lapses plus any other additional images that I caught in the night. But yeah, it's been an epic night. So thanks for watching, and I will see you out there next time. A lot of Aurora shots, pretty, what am I doing? So rocked up, shirt, t-shirt,